going to talk about the PlayStation. Let's have a chat about the PlayStation 4. A chinwag, if you will. About the PlayStation 4.5. Our good friend over at Kotaku, Patrick Lebig, broke a story last week saying that there was word basically around GDC, and they had a bunch of sources, unnamed sources, that said that there was a upgrade coming to the PlayStation 4, or an upgraded version of the PlayStation 4, which was going to support have a Meteor GPU in it, and that would probably support 4K resolution. That this had probably some sort of tie-in into the abilities of the restrictions around the PlayStation VR. And since then, there's been a Wall Street Journal report basically saying the same, sort of corroborating that. Like, it's so funny. The original news piece about this had, information that apparently Keza McDonald from Kotaku UK had just overheard two people in line as well at GDC, literally talking about this PlayStation 4.5, whether that's a code name or not, and how it was going to fit into Sony's plans. First of all, initial reactions to this, Peter, what do you think? It's been a long time since we've seen a console had an iteration. Like, I can only think of the 32X as like the latest one that I can think of. Is this something? Is it a good idea? Is it strange?
It's strange, but it's a good idea. I mean, I think it's not. From what everyone is saying right now, it's not going to impact current PlayStation 4 owners. There are not plans for exclusive games based on the current rumors, right? It's planned for cross-compatibility. While I can understand some people might feel slighted, like, oh, what the hell? I bought an old PS4, now I have to buy a new one if I want to have like the best graphics that PlayStation 4, can do.
Welcome to PC ownership.
Yeah, exactly. And also, you've had a PlayStation 4 for a while, and you know what? You still have the same games, and if visuals are that important, like, that's your imperative to have to pay for it. And I don't think it's a bad thing.
Do you think they need it? Because we're talking about that they like to be able to say, oh, this console generation will run for 10 years, and we're 3.5, 4 years in at the moment. PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are already kind of flagging a little bit. Do you think PlayStation 4 needs this?
I do. I think if you look at TVs right now, everything is a freaking 4K TV. This thing is not. There's no way they're going to be able to get a decent price console that does 4K gaming.
I mean, that's literally it's 4 times the resolution of 1080, right?
Not quite. It's less than that. But essentially, like, for video is a very important part of PlayStation. And what is going on here?
The PS5 better be able to fly, says Samuel Graham. I hate your creepy face.
Thank you.
That's a benefit of the podcast version.
Damn. I mean, look, I don't know. I don't understand why people would have an issue here unless they feel salty about spending money. But, I think it really comes down to being 4K capable for video more than anything else.
Yeah. Mike, what's your thought on this? Because I game that I've been playing recently, Quantum Break, and we'll get to Xbox One in a little while. Apparently that game runs around 720.
Danny, it's temporal 1080p because they take 4 720p frames and.
But it's the best game I've seen looking on an Xbox One. So like resolution to me,
Sunset Overdrive, man. Come on.
Okay, yeah, that game looks pretty good actually. Good contrast, makes a real pop.
Sorry.
But I've never really understood a lot of the heat behind this fixation, specifically resolution. When you look at you can have a high resolution game that looks like complete fucking ass because of the other effects that are working on it. What do you think about this? Are you a PlayStation 4 owner?
Yeah, if it's going to help the VR experience, and because the PlayStation VR, I think like most people, it's the most affordable one at this point. The option, not factoring in if you need a new console and the Move controllers and everything, which I'm excited for PSVR just because I'd like to see that might be ostensibly the first one I have in my living room. If it can help in that respect, then I'm on board for it. I don't feel slighted at all. Like one of my roommates was saying he did at first, but then I was like, well, you had 3 years of that? I think it's like 3 years of the PS4. That was an investment. You've had 3 years of a lot of good games. There are a bunch of games that you got to play in that time period. And like I said, there's not going to be any exclusives when the 4.5 or whatever they end up calling it is going to be out.
Hasn't this existed in handheld gaming as well for years? Like every time there's a new revision of the DS, sometimes they do make games which only work on 3DS or whatever, but
Well, you saw Nintendo do that with Hyrule Warrior Legends on 3DS.
Right.
Xenoblade Chronicles was exclusive to new 3DS. But then recently they spit out Hyrule Warriors Legends, and that was not exclusive, and people were kind of upset with how it ran in the regular 3DS. But Nintendo hardware is generally pretty underpowered anyway, especially for a port of a game from an HD console.
Do you see Sony doing something like, if you trade in your own PlayStation 4, we'll give you an upgrade for like $150 or something?
I see GameStop doing that.
Right.
Yeah, I don't see Sony caring one way or the other.
You don't think like the PR battle over this, that they might bend a knee and just say, okay, right, because we're doing, because if it is literally just a GPU upgrade, I mean, wouldn't the wonderful world of the internet be like, well, if it's only one part of the machine, then you can...
Console gaming is the weirdest sector of the electronics market in the world. Everything else has so many different variants and SKUs and this, that, and the other. I think, we're used to that in everything but consoles. I think people are going to just understand and get used to it. Maybe they'll cry in the beginning, but I don't think Sony is facing an uphill battle here. I think, maybe it'll be a little blip on the radar of people who are upset, but that'll go away pretty fast.
All right. Thank you both for telling me your thoughts about the PlayStation 4.5. A little bit of a shift of gears here. It's interesting we're talking about the PlayStation 4 having an upgrade, because it is the more powerful and the console of the two that are currently, I guess, fighting with each other at the moment, that has the sort of superiority when it comes to graphical processing.